Hi everyone, and welcome to the demonstration. I'll be showing how using soap bubbles can create this very interesting kind of leather look, like this set of nails. I'll show one design from this set, and I'll also show one over green chrome, and using a black no-wipe gel polish you can get this kind of reptilian look as well. Very fun technique to do. Some of the supplies that I used in this demonstration are these three Estemio gel polishes. I have the G4, the DB7, and the Better White. This is a very nice line of gel polishes from Korea. I'll also use the Ugly Duckling Matte top coat, as well as the Koopa Gelfinity gel top coat, no wipe as well. I'll also use this cuticle guard. It's a latex liquid cuticle guard, and I'll give you the reason for that a little bit in the video. I have these nail stickers that I'll use as the straight gold line. You can paint your own gold line, you can use striping tape, you can use spider gel, whichever you prefer to use. You don't have to use the stickers if you don't want. For the green, I will be using the Absinthe Chrome from the Speakeasy collection from Social Claus. That goes over Accents Black On, and that's topped with Joe Henn's Top Shine. You'll of course need your bubbles. In this container I do have about a cup of water and about 6 drops of Palmolive Oxy dish soap, which I'll agitate a little bit more right before I apply the bubbles. Now for this first nail, I'm going to go ahead and just do a section of the bottom of the nail in this green. Go ahead and cure that first coat and then add a second coat and cure that. You can use any type of design on this that you prefer. I just liked the look of the 3 different horizontal, diagonal, and vertical looks. Now we're going to do our caramel color here. Again, these are a very, very nice line of polishes. The formula is fantastic. It levels really nicely. And if you get a good medium coat for most of these colors on the nail, you can get away with just one coat. They're that nice. Go ahead and cure that. We will need to remove the sticky layer before applying the nail sticker. I'm using isopropyl alcohol to do that, and then we'll go ahead and apply the sticker. Go ahead and trim off any excess before you top coat. And again, I was going for a matte look for this, so I'll be using the Ugly Duckling matte top coat, but you can certainly use a shiny top coat if that's your preference. I have had issues with nail stickers kind of popping up even under the top coats, so you might want to use 2 layers of top coat if that's your preference. Now this does have a sticky layer that needs to be removed, so once you do that, it has a lovely matte finish. Now instead of just using clear to create the textured look once the bubbles are applied, I'm doing a slightly lightened color of the same green. Just add a little bit of white to it, and I'm adding some of the clear top coat. I'm doing that because I want this to be, I found that a thinner viscosity is better for getting a less textured. This has a lower profile to the texture. if that makes sense. And so just adding more of that top coat seemed to help. So I'm agitating my bubbles here so I get a good mix. I found that a good mix of the kind of smaller and larger gave more of an interesting effect. Now this is where your cuticle guard is your masking agent here is going to come into effect. I'm not wanting to do the bubbles all over the nail, so I'm going to mask off part of it, and I'll show you the reason why I'm doing that. This is a sample nail that I did where I did not mask off. And placing bubbles is not a precise process at all. If you can get them exactly where you want them, more power to you, but I just couldn't do it. And as you can see, that top coat, when it wraps around the bubbles, kind of migrated into the area that I didn't want it to. So I tried tape, and I had the tape would lift in certain areas, and I'd still have the same problem. So I thought, I'll try the liquid latex, and it worked perfectly. So apply a nice even coat. I'm applying that just over the gold tape area and the caramel color area where I don't want any overlap. And now I'm coming in with the mixture that we did, and I'm going to get that as close to that gold line without overlapping as I can get it. Now again, depending on your preference for texture, you can paint on a thicker coat of this, but again, I was going for a more lower profile, kind of leathery look. And so I am coming back over and brushing it just a little bit to thin out that coat a little bit. And now that's ready to go ahead and apply our bubbles into. So again, I've stirred that right before because the longer these bubbles sit, of course, the more they start to deflate a little bit. So again, a good mix of some smaller and larger bubbles, more of an interesting effect. Now, since you're applying a wet solution into a wet layer, you will probably find that it just kind of wants to slide around on the nail a little bit. So you just kind of have to find a way to wrap those bubbles around until they can sit on the nail in the entire area that you want them in. Once you get them where you want them, you can go ahead and cure. I have this handy little LED flashlight that I'm flash curing just to make sure those bubbles get set a little bit, and then I'm going to finish up in the lamp. Now this is kind of like a box of chocolate thing here. You never know what you're going to get once you remove those bubbles. So as you can see here, it wasn't exactly an even look around. You got kind of a larger areas there, but I like that. I find that quite interesting. And a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it here in the video, a little bit kind of gone over into that gold area, but because we masked it off, it should remove relatively easily. I'm just taking my tool here and I'm just kind of knocking down that texture just a little bit and cleaning up that edge, and there you have a nice precise textured area. Now you could top coat this. You can use matte or shiny. However, it will detract from the look. It won't look the same. As you can see here, it's a very low profile texture. You can feel it. So hopefully, people who don't like a ton of texture, this will work for them. But definitely probably not for somebody who tends to be a picker. So I'm going to add my embellishments here. I was going for a slight kind of Japanese look, so some simple gold studs in kind of an offset placement here. Go ahead and cure that, and now your nail is finished. Very simple to do and really quite fun. So I hope you get the idea. You can, of course, move on to doing a vertical or a, any kind of shape that you want on the nail. Now for this next one, we'll use the chrome. I'm using that over, once again, the Accents Black On. I've cured that for 60 seconds in my LED lamp, and I'm applying the chrome to that. I'm using the finger cot that comes with your kit from Angela. The gloves I'm wearing are textured and can tend to sometimes remove some of the chrome. But my favorite way to apply these chromes from the Speakeasy collection is with my fingertip. I find that I get the best coverage that way. So removing the excess pigment before I apply the top coat. We'll come in, I like the Johans Top Shine. I find that it doesn't tend to lift that pigment off the nail, and I really like it because it doesn't leave voids. If you've worked with no wipes over chrome, you'll know what I mean. It'll leave like little bald areas on the nail, and the Johans was really nice. I found that it didn't do that. So now, once it's cured, that top coat is cured, I'm coming in with the Accents Black On. I've removed most of the black on from the brush, and I'm just coming through and doing a random kind of curvy stripe down the nail, keeping it thin. Again, lower profile needs a thin coat. If you want a more bumpy or more pronounced texture, then do a thicker coat. So once you get your gel placed the way you would like it, we're going to go ahead and once again add our bubbles. And on this one, you'll actually be able to see, before it's out of the lamp, you'll actually see how those bubbles are looking on the nail. That's helpful in this respect on where you might move around the bubbles. Just be sure not to scrape your tool over your nail. Again, flash curing and then finishing up in the lamp. And there is our finished nail. Very cool kind of reptile effect. So again, if you don't have the kind of one-step no-wipe black color, you can try to make your own with a black gel polish and simply add some no-wipe clear to it. Now for this next one, I'll do a coat of the Accents Black On. I've got that cured on the nail, and now I'm coming in with the Accents White On, removing most of the color from the brush. And I'm just going to lightly brush on some random areas before applying the bubbles. You can try different tools to try and apply your bubbles. I tried a spatula, I tried an orange wood stick. I've seen people use like a fan brush, whatever makes it easier for you to apply that. Just be sure not to bump your surface with your tool, whatever tool you're using. You don't want to mess with any of that wet polish. So again, flash curing and finishing in the lamp. Wipe off the bubbles, and there we have a interesting kind of foamy effect. So again, these are just some basic designs that I've shown you here. Your imagination is really your limit here. So many ideas. You can work with chromes. You can work with mattes. It's a really fun technique to do. And again, using a very, very thin layer, you get the lower profile. Thicker polish equals a more bumpy texture. So again, for that set there below, you get the interesting, you get the vertical, the horizontal, and on these, all over the black gel polish, all over the black chrome. Again, a very cool kind of pebbly look. That one, I liked how it kind of faded away along the tops on both of those. This is over Prohibition there in the middle, that gorgeous magenta. That's Prohibition with matte top coat. And these two on the end, again, are to show you just how textury the bubbles can look over a thicker top coat. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the demonstration. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them down below. As always, I will provide links to all the products that I used. If you liked the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you guys later.